Hey friends, Brian here. Get ready because we are getting ready to dive into some real stories from real people just like you and me. Stories that will not only surprise you, some may inspire, and some maybe even shock you. Let's begin. Let's jump into it. My family is furious and demand that I apologize to my sister because I knew her husband has a second family and didn't tell her, but I have a reason why I hid it from her. It's an interesting one, I promise you this. I'm a 35-year-old female. I'm a doctor who owns a small practice in my locality and also works at the government hospital in the county. Now, polygamy is prevalent and legal here. My dad married his second wife, and I have a couple of half-siblings. I come from a very patriarchal family where family issues are discussed and solved by the male members. Now, a few years back, a kid was brought into the hospital after falling from monkey bars at school. The parents showed up, and my brother-in-law, husband to my half-sister, she's 29, she's a female, was the father. Now, we did not interact beyond the doctor-patient relationship. A few months later, when he realized I had not mentioned it to my sister, he switched to bringing his wife and two kids from the second family to my private practice, as it's closer and provides faster, better service than the government hospital. Now, the last receptionist was fired after I discovered she had been stealing money from the clinic, buying medicines from the pharmacy and selling it for higher margins online. Now, I took legal action against her because she had also bought prescription-only medication known to be highly overused and sold it. As revenge, I guess, she informed my half-sister about her husband's second family and that I'm listed on their insurance as their primary doctor. Now, I just treated the kid after the accident and followed protocol for subsequent checkups. However, I am aware that they visit the clinic for pediatrician and dental checkups. Now, my half-sister came to my clinic, caused a huge scene, and apparently also went to the kid's school and caused another scene. If I had told her, which I wouldn't have anyway, my brother-in-law could have reported my clinic for breaking confidentiality, and I could have lost my private practice license. Now, my paternal family and half-siblings are calling me an a-hole for not telling her about her husband's second family and for treating the kids. Now, I do not particularly care for my second family, but my friends think I did it out of spite and pettiness. I did not. My family's called a family meeting where I was told I need to be ready to apologize to my half-sister and that I should be more open about any secrets I might have. Now, honestly, I might not even show up. I'm too swamped with cases of the current virus and honestly do not care to make time for people to point fingers at me. I might be the a-hole for not letting her know, but I didn't want the drama that comes with it, and I don't care for it. But honestly, I want to know, am I the a-hole? All right, so I want to be clear. I do not condone my brother-in-law's actions at all, and I do not have a relationship with my half-sister. We just share the same father. Update. Guys, it's been 3 months of hell. My clinic was vandalized and I got frequent visits from the Ministry of Health and Sanitation for violating virus regulations, improper disposal of bio waste, and I was called in by the Medical Licensing Board for an inquiry about a patient's death. Now, 3 guesses as to who was behind it all. I was continuously asking if, since polygamy is legal and practiced in my family, why they had a problem with my brother-in-law doing the same. I don't know. The question is still a mystery because my half-sister is their precious daughter, and I'm currently home, snuggled with my husband, and we're both recovering from the virus. So I'm good. I just hope she gets the healing she needs. I do not regret any action I took or didn't take. If she could do this to her so-called family, I shudder to think what she had done to her husband's second family. Definitely not the a-hole your hands were tied. Well, here's a comment. I understand you couldn't say anything because your hands were tied unless you wanted to be sued out of your butt. Yeah, no. So I go back and forth. I don't think you're the a-hole because of work and you couldn't say anything. That part I get. But what I don't get is why you kept treating him instead of referring him to another office. Even then, I don't know if you could have told her, but you could have played dumb. You need to add this to the list of illegal things the receptionist did. Tell the lawyer, law, or whoever. Tell someone. That's a super messed up thing. She does something illegal. You fire and report her, and she's like, let me get my revenge for my wrongdoings. So annoying. Here's another post from someone that says, yep, you're the a-hole. You could have informed your sister in a number of ways, including anonymously. She'd never find out it was you, and you would not face any legal or professional repercussions. You could plan a kid's checkup at the same time, ask a friend to send an anonymous email, etc. There were many, many ways you could have gone about it, but you decided to keep quiet, and your sister had to find out from someone else. There's another one that says, yep, you're the a-hole. You didn't need to love someone as family to have basic compassion. I want to say that women should support each other, but really, people should support one another. If you can be kind and minimize harm, show your humanity, I don't buy that there was no way at all for you to safely inform your sister. So what do you think, guys, on that one? Okay, so the next story here, am I the a-hole for asking my wife to spend all of her savings? Let me tell you why. I'm a 34-year-old male married to the love of my life. She's 33. My wife is kind, nurturing, and motivated in her career. She does a lot for me at home since I work long hours. We married 4 months ago, dated for about 8 years. We're both easygoing and have the same sense of humor, and we rarely argue. Now, I make 4 times more money. I'm in healthcare, but she makes a good salary as well. Since I make 4 times what she does, I tend to pay for most things, dinner, weekend trips, mall shopping, which I absolutely don't mind. Now, with bigger purchases, we pay for things together in proportion to what we make. She's usually okay with paying her share of things, a quarter of rent, quarter of groceries, and she will sometimes offer to pay for dinners and dates. She's very close with her best friend. She has 4. They're great people, but they're basically attached to the hip and talk daily in a group chat, which is fine. Everyone needs a support system. I have similar friends. Her and her 4 friends have a combined savings account together for investing in something together. They're each putting in a few $100s per month each. Now, I've known about this for years and didn't really love the idea initially, which I expressed, but she was adamant she wanted this, and at the time, we weren't hurting for money, and it was ultimately her money and her decision. And we're now looking to buy a home in one of the most expensive real estate markets in the U.S. She expressed that she doesn't have much in her own savings, but has about $20,000 of her own money tied in with her friends' combined savings. Now, over the last year, they've been told by 2 financial advisors that 5 people attempting to invest together in real estate or stocks or a business wasn't a great idea. And they also recommend to split the funds to 5 separate accounts since the account is under one of their friends' names, and there are tax implications for having that amount of money in their name, $100,000. The homes we're looking at need around $60,000 to $70,000 for a down payment. Now, I stated I was willing to spend nearly all my savings for the down payment for a home, which about $50,000. So I told her she should put that money from her joint friends account to help with the down payment. It's a huge purchase, and I don't think it should be my burden alone. Now, she got really upset and told me I don't want to touch that money. I promised my friends it would be there for investing together. We should look at a less expensive home then, she said. Maybe a fixer-upper, she then stated. It would be easier for you to accrue the money back since you make so much more. This was very frustrating, and I told her it's unfair. I have to spend nearly all my savings, and you don't. Your friend fund is stupid, and it's stupid not to use the money for our future home. So, am I the a-hole for asking her to use her own cash from her friend's account, break that promise to her friend so we can buy a nice home together? All right, this next story up. Am I the a-hole for not giving my brother a share of my inheritance for his property taxes? When my mom passed away, she left everything to my older brother, Jason. Jason never moved out of my mom's house. He never had anything more than a part-time minimum wage job. Now, my mom forgot about me or my sister and preferred Jason. It also meant she had minimum contact with her grandchildren when she favored him. Now, my father, who lost that home in a divorce, said it wasn't fair that Jason inherited everything from my mom. My father suddenly passed away, and Jason was kept out of his will because my dad was still sore about what my mom did. Now, Jason was shocked when he was left out of my dad's will. He said that the property tax on my mom's house was late because he was planning to use the money from Dad's inheritance, which was a dirty trick Dad pulled on him. Now, my sister Debbie already told Jason to get a frickin' job, and maybe he'll have the $7,000 by the time it's due. Now, I'm also not giving Jason crap. It's how my dad wanted it. Jason was freaking out during the reading because he didn't get anything. And he's already gone through most of my mom's money and hasn't worked for 5 years since her death. He's calling us the a-hole and said he needed the money more than us. Now, I'm sure this was the same line he used on my mom to get Debbie and me written out of my mom's will. Jason acts like he will fight the will, but my dad talked about how Jason got 100% of my mom's inheritance. He doesn't get anything. Now, on top of my dad's insurance, Debbie and I are going to sell my dad's home, and hopefully the market stays hot. Now, I suggest to my brother that he do the same thing and take the money and downsize to a smaller apartment or home. My brother is ranting to anyone who will listen, calling us selfish a-holes, and even setting up a GoFundMe for his taxes. Several family members have donated. Now, my grandma on my mom's side has reached out to me to help him with the taxes, and I said no. My grandma said she's no longer going to leave Debbie and me anything now because of how we treated our brother, but I reminded my grandma that our mom, her daughter, started this, and no one threw a fit about it when Mom died. Debbie had 2 small children then and could have used the money. I didn't see Debbie start a GoFundMe, and I don't remember you, Grandma, calling Jason and asking him to give up part of his share for us. My grandma said it was a different situation, and I told her, not really. All right, guys, it's Brian, and this next story up. Am I the a-hole for correcting my half-siblings when they say their dad is my dad too? I'm 16 years old, a female, and my parents are divorced. I was 3 when their marriage ended. They shared custody 50-50 of me still. Now, for as long as I can remember, Mom has always blamed Dad for it and said he cheated. My dad never said anything. He refuses to badmouth Mom, but I know he really dislikes her. My grandma, Dad's mom, told me Mom was the one who cheated, and she's the one who even got pregnant with someone else's child and had an abortion to try to conceal it. That Dad asked her directly, and suddenly she was no longer pregnant. This was after me. Now, I can't know the truth, obviously, but I lean more in favor of my dad. The reason? My mom remarried when I was like 5, and she has tried so many times to push Dad out and get her new husband in. She has lied to the kid she has with her husband and told him he's our dad, and when I go for a week, it's to some uncle, and I mistakenly think he's my dad. So I have half-siblings who'll refer to my mom's husband as our dad, and they'll step in and correct me when I call him by his first name. I usually end up correcting them, and around we go. I dislike my mom's husband. I think he really wants me to accept him and let him take over from Dad, but he never stops to listen when I say I love my dad, and it upsets me when they talk crap about him. He always tells me I should have him instead of Dad at Father's Day activities. This was worse when I was younger and that stuff was more there. He'd always try to get me to go to father-daughter dances with him, including purity ones, which, ooh! And he'd get annoyed when I'd say no. He'd tell me he put so much work into me and I should return the effort. My dad tried to get custody from the judge at my request. We were in court literally weeks ago, but the judge said I need to continue 50-50 until I'm 18. And if either parents attempt to prevent that, then the other will get full custody of me. So I'm stuck here. And my half-siblings, the older they get, the more annoying they are about correcting me, and then I correct them too. I told them the other day that their dad isn't my dad, and I don't even like their dad or love their dad. My mom heard, and she told me I need to stop correcting them, and they just love me so much that they want me to be their full sister, and I'm being a bully to them, correcting them all the time. So, am I the a-hole?